All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 26. We got the usual guys here today. We got Ernie and Wander. Everyone say hello. Hello.
Glad to have you with us, fam.
All right, so normally I would start off with a Ryan's rant. I'm going to build it into the MLB postseason and probably some of the last stuff we're going to talk about for baseball for quite some time until the hot stove starts heating up. But last week the playoffs started and we didn't get a chance to talk about any of it. And have a bunch of teams in it, and every wild card series was two and done. So you had the Blue Jays versus the Twins. The Twins beat the Blue Jays, which big fan of. They got their playoff win finally, and it wasn't against the Yankees. So the Yankees are still,
Blue
113 in
Jays.
a row.
Blue Jays always never go too far in the postseason. Besides Joe Carter year, right?
Yeah, like what was it 1991 and 92? So they've had a bad run, and so are the Twins. The Twins haven't beaten anybody in like
Right,
18 playoff
right.
games,
Yeah.
and they finally won back-to-back games. And then to keep that going, then they went to they wind up playing the Houston Astros.
Ooh, I saw a score for that one yesterday.
Well,
or the day before. I think Houston had a 10 spot.
Yep. Well, they wind up being tied 1-1. That's where the series stands right now, is 1-1.
Okay.
And then you got the other side. The Texas Rangers played the Tampa Bay Rays, and Texas beat them two straight, which Texas hasn't been in the playoffs in a little while. And they beat up on the Rays, which is another good thing for us because now everyone but the Orioles is out of the playoffs.
Maybe DeGrom will get a ring. Who knows?
We'll see. Well, he didn't really pitch this year, so maybe it takes him being hurt all year for him to get a ring.
That would be kind of ironic.
Yeah. And then the Texas Rangers wind up playing the Baltimore Orioles. And right now that series is 2-0 Texas. And the funny part about
Ranger
that is
up.
they beat the Orioles on the road. Like they went to Baltimore and spanked
They went into their house.
Yeah.
This is best of five this round, or is it
Yes.
up to best of seven?
I'm pretty sure it's best of five, the ALDS, because then the ALCS is 7, World Series is 7. But yeah, so that's the American League side of things. That's where they stand right now. I believe they play tomorrow. And then you switch over to the National League. You had the Diamondbacks play the Brewers. They won 2-0. They play today, or I guess tonight for some people. They're playing the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks. They moved on. So right now, Arizona won the first game in LA
Wow.
against the Dodgers. So they're 1-up. And I believe they're playing tonight. They should be playing soon. And then you have the Marlins play the Phillies. Phillies won 2 in a row, and they went on to play Atlanta, and they beat Atlanta in the first game.
Just like last year.
In the bottom of the second.
All right, so see, there you go. So they're winning game 2, and they're also on the road. So Philly again might have Atlanta's number because didn't they play Atlanta last year?
Yep.
And moved on to the
Yeah.
World Series.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's the playoffs as a nutshell where they stand right now as of Monday. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Mets. So over this past week, there was an anonymous letter sent to the MLB that the Mets, GM Epler, and maybe also other people in the organization were putting people on the IL that weren't hurt. Now, what do most people think about that?
Was there a reason in this secret letter?
They didn't specify. They just, in the letter, it states that that's what they were doing, and that possibly the Mets owner, Uncle Stevie Cohen, knew about it.
Huh.
If you read the whole article that was, I think, out in the Post, like towards the end of last week, it specifies that they're going to be going through emails, text messages, phone calls, what have you,
Wow.
to see what's going on with the Mets with
Full-on
at least this
investigation.
one allegation. But then it goes on at the end of the letter to state that there are also other allegations that have not been, named yet. So it seems like the Mets have maybe a lot to worry about. The writer of the post of the article didn't specify what the other allegations are. So I'm kind of thinking that he's waiting to either get more info, or he already knows and he's waiting to drop another article this week to tell you the rest.
I see. The plot thickens.
Yeah, like give you like a little, part A, part B type thing. Like,
right.
here's what they did then, and here's what they're doing now, whatever.
Well, baseball writers and have a lot of time, so I'm sure you'll find a few angles on that.
Oh yeah, of course. So it got me to thinking, right? And here's where the Ryan's rant comes in, and it has nothing to do with his allegations. Like to me, they're saying the Mets were cheating. Are you really cheating if you're throwing some bum on the IL? Like who are you really replacing him with? Like most of the times, it's not like you're putting them on the IL for a Mike Trout or an Otani, right? You know what I mean? Like
Right. Or any of these
Seems
guys
like-
talking about what are they benefiting by
right.
throwing these guys on the IL if they don't need to be on the IL?
Right. Like I guess maybe
Like
you're
there's-
saving a roster spot, but
Doesn't seem like big news to you.
yeah, like I feel like baseball's been doing that and a bunch of other kind of things like that
Forever.
for like decades,
Yeah.
right? Like I could, even if I thought back, and I don't know if they're doing it, so no one quote me on this, and I have no information on this, but you can think of all the bums the Yankees had over the years. I can think of like a few right now. Jacoby Ellsbury pops right into my head where he was literally hurt for 4 straight years. Like, do
Right.
we all really think he was really hurt for 4 straight years?
Right. And like usual, that's what's gonna happen, right? Now that if this gains some traction and gains some heat, you're gonna hear guys from all the other teams saying that they would done the same thing to them.
Chime in, yeah.
It's just gonna turn out to be this big hoopla that, and then it's gonna get so big that they're just gonna let it go because they're not gonna go after every team.
Right, you couldn't. Like once they blow it up like that, you're almost stuck now, right? So, and like, what's the big? Like, I don't even think it's really cheating. It's not like the Astros and the Red Sox when they were like banging on drums and like doing this, that, and the other thing. Like, and like you could steal signs all day from second base. There's nothing wrong with that. But the minute you're using like tablets and relaying it to the batter or to the pitcher or whatever you're doing, that's when it's like real cheating. It's using, I guess, what they say, technology to do that, right? So like, I can see that. But if someone's dumb enough on the mound to tip their pitch and you could see it, I don't see nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
Right.
That's not my problem.
That's their problem.
Right, exactly. You're giving a tell up. It's like when you play poker, right? If you have a tell and someone can tell when you're bluffing or not, that's not on them. It's on you.
That's on you, yeah.
Right. But this whole nonsense with Stevie Cohen and the Mets just got me to thinking like one thing, right? He grew up as a Met fan, right? You know what? No, I never talked to the guy. I'm sure no one here has ever talked to the guy. I wonder what kind of Met fan he was, right? Was he just a casual Met fan? Or was he like all about it, like saying, like yelling at the TV every, other day when he's watching a game and like, this pitcher shouldn't be throwing this pitch on a full count, or this guy should be hitting and running right now? Like, was he one of those kind of like almost like a baseball's mind? Because it got me thinking, like, all the money he has, right? And he's done nothing but spend since he's bought the Mets, right? Which is cool, right? Like, I'm a Yankee fan. If tomorrow I was worth $15 million, I'd buy the Yankees right now and have a field day with the Yankees.
Right.
Right? Like, that'd be the coolest thing in the world, right? To, like, be the owner of your childhood, like, team that you grew up watching. And especially if you love the game, like, you played it or whatever, and, like, you know about it. Like, I know you have guys under you, right, that are supposed to do their jobs, manager, GM, whatever. But imagine being an owner with all that money and then being able to be like, all right, I want to know your plan for how we're going to make this team better. And then the guy comes with plan A, and you look at it like, and now you do your own number crunching, or like you think like, oh, I know baseball, so I know guys like, I don't want this player, I don't want that player, like I want you to get this player. Almost like what George Steinbrenner used to do, right? Like he saw someone that he liked, and he's like, you got to get that guy. Now it wasn't always the best thing in the world, right? But it makes you think, like, what would you do in that situation if you had money and you were like,
Well, the difference, I think, is a guy like Steve Cohen is that one, he's a businessman and he's got so much going on. These guys today, I think, just have so much that it seems like it's become a novelty for the rich of the rich to own a sports franchise. And I think they honestly just trust these guys they pay to run the team. They don't. If I had to guess, I would say that he probably doesn't really get all that involved. Not like a George Steinbrenner, where I mean, obviously he had other things going on. He was making other streams of income, I'm sure, but his main thing was the Yankees, and he was very hands-on. Today, these guys like a Steve Ballmer with the Clippers, who I think these guys just, it's more of a novelty thing for them to own a franchise and say they own the franchise, or nowadays it's like multiple franchises.
Right, like kind of what A-Rod and J-Lo wanted to do, right?
So they just trust, these are business guys, just like they have people running their businesses for them, they have people running their teams for them. And they probably, I would guess, stay out of the way for the most part.
Okay, fair. I could see that, and I actually agree with you with that. However, if Ernie right now had 15 million and you bought your favorite team, I want to know what team you would buy and what you would try to do with it. Being a sports enthusiast and knowing what you know about whatever sport you want to pick. You want to pick the Cowboys, you want to pick the Yankees,
That
whatever.
would probably be the Yankees, of course. But
So then how would you fix it? If you bought them tomorrow, what's the first thing you're doing? Are you being hands on like the George Steinbrenner or like some of these other guys, or are you just gonna sit back?
yeah, I would think that I'd be able to hire the right people and have them run it.
That's a lot of fun, Ernie. Thanks. Appreciate it, pal. Please tell me you got something more than that.
It's
regarding
like,
which?
it's like they say about the president of the United States, right? You're never going to have the smartest guy in the world. It's just a matter of who they're surrounded with. If they have the right people surrounding them, then they're going to seem like they're doing a decent job. If they don't, then they're going to look like they're shit. But it's all about who you surround yourself with. They can't. A guy like Steve Cohen doesn't have the time to run the or be completely hands on with the Mets.
I disagree.
I
I disagree because just like what you said, I can throw it back at you. He has plenty of time because people run his businesses. So if he wanted to take an extra step in on any particular business, he could.
But his business is what he does. His business is what he knows.
Right.
His business is what he's done his whole life. He's going to be way more involved and hands on in that than he's going to be with the team.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is you just have his money. You are still you. You're not Steve Cohen with, the 100 different companies. I'm just using him as an example because it just struck me the other day that he's a fan of the Mets. That's why he bought the Mets. So thinking we're fans of whatever. You're a Yankee fan, I'm a Yankee fan. Wonder, you're a Met fan. You bought the Mets today. Tomorrow you go in there. What are you going to do to fix the Mets?
How much money do I have?
20 billion. You just bought the Mets.
Oh, we're talking like
yeah. Steve Cohen just sold it to you today for what he got for it. He wants out. He wants out. He sold it to you for what was it, $7 million, $7 billion. He sold it to you $7 billion. You have 20 extra billion on top of that. What are you gonna do?
Well, I think I'll get rid of. I mean, I think they're in the process of that, but what's his name's on his way out, right? The first baseman.
Alonso?
Yeah.
No, they're saying that they're gonna hire him.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I kind of feel like he's part of the problem. I would probably, I'll stick with the manager, but maybe shake up the front office a bit.
Yeah, hire Theo Epstein.
There you go. I like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just, I get what Ernie's saying too, because Cohen's not gonna, he's not gonna go out of his element. He's smart enough to know that he's not knowledgeable in those areas.
Right, but he's also got people that are knowledgeable. So,
right.
As a baseball fan, as an owner, you're the top dog. If you don't want someone because you think, this guy's not going to cut in New York, or like you go to sign, like George Simon used to interview these guys before he'd sign them. If he didn't like them, they were gone. If he liked them, bring them in. Like that's what happened with A-Rod. That's how he signed the core four multiple times because he liked those guys. They produced and they brought him in. Now A-Rod was a little different where he produced all season long and he didn't produce in the
Didn't he
playoffs
go to
besides
the?
1 year.
Didn't he go to the Mets before that too?
Who?
A-Rod, like
No, he tried to buy the
auditioning
Mets.
his services.
The sure sign is look how hard they were going after this guy that they just signed from Milwaukee, right? The head of baseball operations.
Stein or something like that.
There's a reason why they've been talking about this guy for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he knows, I guess, something about him. He trusts him, and he thinks he's going to be the guy that's going to be. So now that he went through all of this to hire this guy, he's paying him a ton of money, from what I heard. Even if Cohen says, "I want to sign this guy," and this guy tells him, "I don't think it's a good idea," I think he's going to listen to this guy, and that's why he brought him.
That's all right, but that's not the Ryan's rant for today. The Ryan's rant for today is what you would do in that situation if you had the money and if you were owning the team. I don't care what Steve Cohen's going to do. That's no fun. I know Steve Cohen's going to do that. All I'm telling you is what I would do. Like if I
why don't you tell us what you would do? Because obviously we're not understanding what the
Yeah, it's supposed to be your rant anyway.
I literally told you what I was trying to get out of you. I want to know what you would do with the team if you bought it today. Tomorrow you go in there, what would be the things you would do? Like, I liked Wanderer's answer. Wanderer's perfect. He got rid of Alonso, which is an unpopular decision, but I respect it. Get rid of the bum. If you don't like him, that's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
Trade him.
I feel like
I love that answer.
I feel like he's not consistent. I feel like there's things that there's more going on than what we know regarding the clubhouse.
Perfect. That's great. That's an answer I could deal with. What I can't deal with is he's gonna listen to this guy because he just spent time on listen to this guy. That's what I cannot do.
I would go after Shohei Ohtani.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
He'd be a big hit in Queens.
There you go. Now, is that for the Yankees, right?
Yes.
So you're spending big bucks.
Big bucks.
You don't care. No. Love it. Love it. I love it. There we go. We finally got it out of the way. I'm so happy.
Well, that was your hypothetical rant.
It was a hypothetical rant. I was just
a little different this week.
Yeah, a little different, but like
change it up.
Now it's my turn. I get hyped up. I hear, So like for me,
what would you do?
Hal Steinbrenner's out of the picture. Here comes Ryan Puglisi. I'm in there.
Turtleneck too, or
no turtleneck. I'm gonna come in wearing a Yankee jersey.
Okay.
Maybe a pair of shorts. I don't know. It depends how
it's gonna say boss on the back.
Yeah, it's gonna say big boss on the back.
Oh, all right.
And I'm walking right into the GM's office, and I'm saying, Cashman, I appreciate the 20-something years.
You're out.
You're cut. You're done. Okay. Then, thankfully, Ernie gave us a great idea for GM. I'm throwing so much money at Theo Epstein, and he's going to fix my problems. And we're going to sit down, and me being the baseball mind that I am, I'm going to target some players for him to go after. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of these players, right? And I don't have any particular guys in mind right now. I personally would not go after Ohtani. That's me. What I'm going to target right now is guys around the league that could hit 300. And then I'm going to dig into those guys. And then I'm going to see if we played those guys. And when they played in New York, how did they hit in New York?
Wow, you really thought about this. I like that.
It's all off the cuff right now. What do you always say? I'm free balling it
or shooting from the hip?
Shooting from the hip. There you go. And I would target those guys. And once I found those guys at 300, and once they passed the test of if they could hit in New York, whatever sample size I got, whether it be 20 at bats, 50 at bats, 100 at bats, whatever it is. Obviously, guys in the American League are going to have more at bats in the National League. Then we'll call them in there. I'll get some interviews going, see what they say, see if I like them, and then I'm going to look at the rest of their stats. I don't really care if they hit 50 home runs. I don't. You could hit 20.
I'm assuming Ohtani hits close to 300.
He might.
And I'm assuming he's hit very well in New York.
He definitely hit well in New York, as we've seen it.
Okay, so that he checks all the boxes.
He doesn't check all the boxes. He gets hurt a lot. I don't need a guy that I'm going to spend a lot of money on and gets hurt a lot. A perfect example, Giancarlo Stanton.
We do it all the time.
We used to do it all the time, pal. We used to. This is Ryan's team now. This is old Pug's team. What do we call him? The boss.
Big boss.
The big boss. So the big boss has got some changes coming. Okay? And now once the GM comes in, if he wants to keep Boone, I'll give Boone another chance. I'll give him 1 year.
I feel like he's got a lot of chances.
He has with the wrong GM and the wrong owner, right? With me, if Theo decides to sign on, if I throw him a boatload of money, and he says, you know what, it wasn't his fault. Because remember, we talked about this all summer long. We don't think Boone is really the culprit for the most part. Like, he's made some mess ups, but ultimately, he's got to deal with the team and the guys he has on his roster, right?
Right.
So he can't really be held totally accountable. Now, if you tell me guys are lazy, not running stuff out, can't make mental mistakes, I'm going to hold him 100% accountable for that, right? Which is a conversation I will have with him. and it will get rather heated because obviously he's going to think he knows more than baseball than me, which he might. But he forgets one thing.
What's that?
I'm the big boss.
That's right.
All right. So with that being said, if he doesn't want to work for the New York Yankees, he don't have to work for the New York Yankees. I'm only giving him at least a year-to-year basis right now.
And listen, when it comes to the manager, more of a figurehead than anything else. You're just putting somebody in there who can, you know, put the lineups together, deal with, you know, the ins and outs of the everyday. But you know, the players are running the team more than the manager.
Agreed.
These guys are all overpaid prima donnas. They're not letting some guy like Aaron Boone tell them what to do anyway. So it's
agreed.
You know, it is what it is.
Agreed. But that's where I would start. Those are my things that I'm thinking about. I would start right then and there. Cut the head off at the top. Work my way down. Target some 300 batting average guys. Good on base percentage. Good contact. And then everyone else, I'll try. If I have to trade guys for a bag of balls, I'll trade guys for a bag of balls just to get them off our team.
Yeah, man.
With a contract.
Get it back to the glory days of the '90s, right?
Yeah, man.
They had no superstars. A bunch of.
They had one, maybe two, and in the late '90s, none of them was a superstar. Some of them were up and coming. You know, like the Rivera, the Jeter, even the Pettit, the Posada, whatever, Bernie. They might have been superstars to us in New York. I don't know if all of them were nationally superstars, but you know what? It worked. You hit your 20 bombs, you hit over 300. Some of them hit well over 300, and then guess what? They scored a lot of runs.
Yep.
They had a lot of RBIs.
Yep. Which
is what this team is missing.
Yeah.
More runs
definitely
equals more wins.
Definitely.
Very easy formula, guys. And yeah, that concludes my Ryan's rant for today. So now we're gonna move along.
That was kind of a weak rant, I gotta tell you.
Wow. Well, maybe it's because you didn't understand it at first. Yeah, maybe you should have been more creative with it.
It wasn't really a rant.
It's a rant. It's a rant on baseball right now. It's the last of the baseball.
No, that was more of just you giving us your synopsis of what you would do if you somehow miraculously came into $20 billion.
Last I checked, this was Ryan's rant, not Ernie's corner. Okay, so unless you want to come up with something that you want to talk about, then you can throw shade my way. All right, pal. Until then, just be the producer or whatever you're doing over there. I don't even know what you're looking at over there. What are you doing? I never know what he's doing.
I'm trying to look up some stories about these Mets, but I can't find them.
Yeah, they're already hiding them. So, all right. So we had football this weekend. It was a great week for a lot of teams. Some teams not so much.
Yeah.
Anyone want to start off? Did you watch any football first one?
Yeah, let's see. I saw the Thursday night game. Surprise there. It was all Bears pretty much. What else? I saw a little bit of the Giants, the Dolphins. I was at a family thing. And was there another game? Yeah, I mean the other game, what was it? Pittsburgh Ravens. I didn't really see much of that.
Well, we just saw some highlights of the debacle in San Francisco for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
that was a drubbing.
I was watching that game last night, and it didn't even start off good for Dallas. Like they were in a 14-0 hole before I even got my drink together and started watching the game and focusing on it. And then they closed the gap to 14-7, I believe. And then after that, it was literally all 49ers. And you know, say what you want about Mr. Irrelevant. That guy is good.
I just saw that this was the 15th game in a row they've won.
They put, I think it said,
this is the 10th game he's won.
Fifth straight 30-point performance.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, so
firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I think he threw what, 4 touchdowns yesterday? Like he is so damn good right now.
They have a legitimate chance of
Are we gonna start talking about that already?
I mean,
why not?
they look like the best team in the NFC, right?
They look like they can go undefeated.
Well, right now there's 2 undefeated teams. Them and the Eagles.
Yeah, but the Eagles have not looked great.
No, that's true.
And these guys
they've been squeaking out wins. The Eagles, where
these guys,
the 49ers are blowing people out of the water.
They have the total package.
Yeah.
They have the offense, they have the defense. pretty scary looking.
Yeah, and can Nick Bosa get any crazier on the defensive line? Like he just comes through like a bull and just like
Philly's 3-0.
Little score alert. Phillies 3-0 over the Braves. Bottom third. Oof. Yeah, the Diamondback Dodgers are at 9 o'clock tonight. So yeah, I mean like you have when you have Debo Samuel on this team and he's not really doing anything and he's not beating you. That's an issue.
Ayuk is lighting it up, and then you got
Kittle lit it up yesterday.
A lot of weapons.
Yeah.
A lot of weapons.
So CMC, right? I think it was a San Francisco record. Like he scored in all 14 straight games.
Wow.
That he's played with them. Like 14 in a row. He just beat out, I think it was Jerry Rice that scored like 13 in a row straight. Like he scored in 13 in a row games.
Yeah, he's definitely something special.
Yeah. Like if he stays healthy.
Oof.
Oof.
And what a kick in the nuts for the Panthers, right? He can never stay healthy for them.
No.
Now he's just.
But you know what the trick is? Because this is what's going on around the league, right? They like to supplement their, I guess, starting back, like with the second back, and he gets rest now, so he's not like.
But they're not really doing that there.
A little bit. They give him a rest. Like he'll play like first and second down, and then the bruiser are coming for third down. Like you know what I mean? But I guess that's enough to keep him healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's not doing every 3 downs. And then once the game gets out of hand, you see he sits back.
And he's not. I guess he's just not getting hit as much.
Right.
With this offensive line as compared to Carolina.
They got a great offensive line, man. Like there's no joke. They are no joke. But it's wild how good they are.
What?
Because Dallas isn't a bum team either. They're really good too. They have a good offensive line.
Yeah,
they have a good running back. They got a good wide receivers.
I don't know. Yesterday's showing me that maybe they're not as good as we thought because they beat up on some pretty crappy teams. No offense to the Jets and Giants, but they've lost now 2 games to San Fran and they lost to a bum team. Right?
I was just gonna say they lost to the Cardinals, dude.
Yeah, so I mean the Cardinals, not.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not feeling so. I'm starting to feel like Paulie Lynn.
What does he feel like?
I did see some of the early game too from London.
The
Jacksonville seemed to be in control most of the game. Etienne was running all over the place. Ridley caught some passes. Buffalo, a team that we thought was gaining momentum, got knocked back a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy too, man? Like Josh Allen, I didn't get to see the game because I didn't know what channel it was on, and by the time I woke up,
I think it was on NFL Network.
Yeah, like the week before it was on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it wasn't
on
TV.
Now it's on. Like I need to know where these things are on, like whatever. So I never saw it. Whatever. Long story short. But I look at the stats, and Josh Allen had over 300 yards passing, and he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
they made a little rally. They made a bit of a rally.
I mean, the game was closer, I guess, than it looked if you were watching it, right?
Yeah.
25-20.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I guess from what I heard too, the defense took a lot of hits.
Yeah, they lost.
They
lost 2 linemen early.
Yeah.
I think.
So I guess that could have hurt them. But the Bills are in a tough spot too. They're 3-2 right now, and Miami's running on all cylinders right now too. Besides the loss to the Buffalo Bills,
right?
Which kind of throws me off with the Bills. Like, where are you? You beat good teams, then you lose to crappy teams. Not that even the Jaguars are crappy. I guess we're really talking about like the Jets. Like the Jets should have not even won week 1, but they did. But like you lose games that you should be winning, and then you win games that are like a toss-up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, you had to be happy with the result yesterday, right?
Yeah. So I was going to get to that. So I'm glad you brought it up. So the Jets wind up playing Denver, and it was one of those, I guess, Colorado battles, right? Up in the Mile High Stadium.
Really high.
Yeah, and it was just an awful, like, boringish game. most of the game until I guess what I would say like the third quarter. It started getting better. Like Zach Wilson got his feet under him.
But it's like they finally started doing what they should have been doing since
the whole game
of the season.
So Brees broke a big one, yeah.
Oh, he had a monster game.
Yeah,
that kid is something special.
Yeah, like without him, we don't get that win.
If they don't find a way to give him the ball 35 times a game, there's something wrong with them.
Right, I agree. And like people are gonna say they won despite Zach Wilson's poor performance, but like is he a scapegoat for the wide receivers yesterday?
Yeah, I don't think he had a poor performance. I was happy with the.
I mean, he threw that interception late, but they rallied back and they got their own pick six, which cemented the game. But in the first half, he's throwing balls that these wide receivers should be catching, like right in the hands or in the face.
Remember, we saw that stat at one point. I think he was 22 of 26, and we knew of 2 for sure that should have been caught. So I mean, come on. What more could you ask for, especially with the way his season's been going so far? I mean, come on.
I agree. I think he played better.
Ran the ball a little bit.
Yeah. Like when he was under pressure, it seemed like he didn't panic. And instead of swirling backwards and then getting sacked for 15 yards, he stepped up. And, there were times he stepped up and got into trouble and then got sacked. But then there were also times where the holes opened up and he saw it, stepped up and ran for 10, 15 yards. So, it was still good to be shown. And at the end of the day, we still won by 10. We definitely covered. And, we're good, right? We're good money. We're 2-3 now. If we could get lucky. And here's the true test, right? So next week, and we forgot to do this, so we're going to have to do this on the fly for next week. So, you better start doing it, Ernie. And Wonder, I don't know, we're going to just, scroll through your phone real quick and pick 3 games for next week.
Oh, sure, yeah, no problem.
But we'll get to that in a few minutes. I'll finish what I'm saying. But the Jets play the Eagles next week, right? So the worst we could be is 2-4. But the way the Eagles just barely squeaked by the Rams, and not to say I don't think the Rams are a bad team. They got a good defense, and that Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp just came back and looked like he never was off the field. Like he had 120 yards receiving. The only thing he was missing was a touchdown. So, and he caught, I think, 8 or 9 catches.
Well, listen, I mean, they're playing in New York, and I'm assuming Sauce Gardner is going to line up with A.J. Brown. So if he can shut him down, nobody else there is really killing it.
Well, see, that's the problem, right? They don't put Sauce Gardner on man coverage usually. They just leave him on that side. So if the Eagles are smart, you just don't line up A.J. Brown on that side, and he'll be, I don't want to say open all day, but he's not against our greatest cornerback. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So we'll have to figure that out. So hopefully we'll see. And the one thing I like to think is because the Eagles haven't looked like the Eagles of last year, right? And this might be a good test for both teams because if the Jets can kind of shut them down, I think the Jets could win that game.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles don't have a good defense right now.
Why not?
So we'll see what's going on. So what do we got here for picks? Did you look at a couple?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look at mine. Ernie, did you get a?
I'm looking at it now.
So pull it up.
I think
I got mine ready to go.
Constraints and not being prepared. We should just pick picks.
Just winners?
Yeah, shouldn't worry about spreads or anything like that. I don't feel like looking up spreads right now.
I mean, it doesn't take but 2 seconds to figure out, like, oh, okay, whatever, Week 6 NFL picks, not too crazy.
What? Just real quick, what's going on with fantasy football and the Kelly League?
Wow, what's going on?
Is there no trades just happen? They don't have to get voted on or anything.
I think they do have to get voted on because remember that kid Mike Schmedium said please vote on our things, which we shouldn't be voting. It should just the commissioner should just be.
Because I'm seeing something here from last night where it looks like a little collusion going on.
Well, it's the collusion talk
between the Kelly brothers.
Oh, I did see that. Someone's trading Tua or something like that for somebody else.
Or Michael Thomas.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy. But if you look, I looked at it and I just didn't care. If you look at the team that has Tua, he has also Josh Allen. So I don't know how he got both those quarterbacks. How does that happen? But
for Michael Thomas,
Michael Thomas is not having a terrible year, and if you look at his team, he needs wide receivers, but he could get more than just Michael Thomas for Tua. That's the issue I'm having. You know what I mean?
so do we uphold it? Do we veto it?
No, you veto it, of course. What are you talking about here? Nonsense. Tell them to come up with a better trade. Plus, they're brothers. Honestly, they shouldn't even be trading together. And if they should, like, it should be like
in their defense, the entire league is family. So
debatable. Whatever. I'm not even gonna touch that. Either which way, it should be an even trade. That just makes it look worse. Like if he was trading Tua to you for a wide receiver, I'd say, okay, fine, no big deal. But brother to brother, they'd be sitting at the dinner table like, listen, I'll give you Tua right now if you give me Mike Thomas. Let's see if we can sneak this one in. You know? I don't know about that. That's like us trading right now over this show.
let's see. Is there any way we can see compare their stats for the year?
What do you mean? Which stats?
Like what their fantasy stats are for so far. So Tua's got 30, 42, 73, 86.
Just go off position rank. He's probably like the top 5 quarterback or something like that. And then you go off wide receiver.
I don't know this ESPN.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. So I got the spreads out here, right? By the way, I'm getting rocked in fantasy this week. The only hope I got is a big day from this game, which is the Green Bay Packer Raider game. I need, what is it? Is it Jordan Love?
Yeah.
I need him to throw all day to Dobbs, and then on the reverse side, Jimmy G has to throw all day to Devontae Adams, and then I have a puncher's chance, as you would say, to win at least one.
Okay, so you're looking for a
Michael
shootout.
Thomas has plus minus 50 fantasy points this year. Tua has got like 100.
Right, it's terrible. I told you that already.
All right, so what am I looking up right now? The spreads?
Yeah, I got them here. If you want to just go, if you just look at the teams you want to pick, and I'll tell you what the spreads are, and then you can jot them down in your spreadsheet. But you're also supposed to tell us what we won last week.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I did too hot last week.
I don't know what I did to be. I don't remember what I picked.
I know I missed at least 3 of the games.
Oh, really?
I think I had Washington. I had Buffalo. So those those first 2 games off the board.
Week for you, Papa.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all right. So I got this week's.
I think Titans got throttled too, maybe.
Who'd they play?
Yeah. Oh, they lost to the Colts. Yeah, so they definitely, that was a loss.
So this week is going to be a tough week to pick. It looks like a lot of bullshit games.
I got my picks.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got last week.
Okay.
As far as wins and losses.
All right. So how about I read them off real quickly? You just tell me what's win or loss, okay? And then we'll come up. Bills, they lost.
Yeah, that's a loss.
So that's an L. Texans, they were getting 1.
Texans. I mean, hold on a minute. I'm trying to look for the scores.
The Falcons covered.
So that's an L. Bengals were -3.
Bengals won. Right?
Yeah, they won big.
Big?
Yeah.
That's a W. And the Jets were getting 2 and they won.
Mm.
So Ryan went
2 and 2, Mr. 2 and Mr. Even Steven
I
himself.
had the Bills, that's an L. I had the Ravens giving 4.5, and the Ravens
Lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They lost. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh God, that's an L. The Jets, my Jets are the holy
Saving grace.
Cowboys got smashed. Wow. Still doing better than Pugs.
Wait, what 2 games did I lose?
The Bills and the Texans.
The Texans lost?
Yeah.
Commanders were given 7.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. They got crushed.
They got destroyed.
Bills
Lost. Titans lost.
They lost?
What were they getting?
1.5.
No, they lost.
So the
I hit the Niners, though.
49ers were the only win for you.
1-3.
Which shouldn't count because you're going against your going.
You can.
So
Listen.
Wanderers 9-7, Ernie's 7-9, and Pugs are 6-10.
All right, we're close.
closing
We're
the
all
gap,
we're
though,
all
bro.
striking distance.
I'm waiting for you guys to fail for me to jump ahead. This is going to be a very important week for us.
Look at that. One bad week and it's it's
Screws
anybody's
up.
game.
And that's with the fixed stats, because you said you fixed them. Because I thought I had another win.
Oh, we're doing this week?
Yeah, now we're going to do this week. So
all right. I'll
Wanda,
start.
You start us off.
What do they call that? Augusta style?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever you
All
say.
right, first game I am picking going with the Chiefs 10.5 over the Broncos. I don't care if Taylor's there. We've taken the Kansas City Chiefs.
10, I'm assuming, right?
10.5. I have it here actually.
Okay.
Then the next game up, we're going with Bengals. Hopefully they're back for my guy Pugs right here. -2.5 at home versus Seattle. And then the third game we are picking is the Niners. We're all in on the Niners now.
I'm picking that game.
-5 at Cleveland, and I guess I got to pick the Cowboys game
That's
too.
all they are is minus.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
something funny about that. They'll probably lose or something.
Cowboys
But
are playing the Chargers.
yes, I see. You know what? Let's go with Dallas. Let's go with Dallas -2. Fuck it. See what happens.
-2?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's odd too, but hey.
I want to see them here. When did they
Oh,
play?
no, oh, yeah, the Cowboys.
Monday?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
that's going to throw us off.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's all right, though.
Oh, is it legal that we picked that game?
Well, we try to avoid that game.
Oh, should we hold it till next week then?
No, because then you're going to have another game with Dallas. We'll just pick it, and
Yeah.
it'll go undetermined till the following week.
Okay.
We'll have to edit it afterwards.
All
We'll do a short
right,
video.
Pugs.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. I'm going to go with the 49ers. What was it, 5? They're giving 5 to the Browns. I'm going to go with Detroit against Tampa, -3 for Detroit.
Hold on, sorry.
It's all right.
-3.
Detroit looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to see that. All right.
And then I got to pick one more before my Jets, right? So let's go with the Houston Texans getting. I have 2.5, so it might be 3.
Going back to the well on
Can
the
you check yours?
Texans.
Because mine's a little different sometimes with this.
Okay.
So I'm going with the Texans, and they're getting either 2.5 or 3.
1.5
You
here.
got 1.5 there.
Yeah, wait, versus the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5. New Orleans
Oh, so
is
let's see, I
favorite.
can pick them. Yeah, so I'll stick with the Texans. And then for my Jets, the Jets are getting. I have it here as 6.
Yeah, no problem.
But I don't know if it's 5.
Ooh, 6.5 here.
Okay, good. So I'll take the Jets, getting 6.5
At home
at home.
against the Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully the eagle flies and the jet shoots it down.
Or it hits it, it gets sucked into the engine or something.
Well, then the plane would go down. I don't think that's a good one.
I mean, how strong is the plane? Maybe it'll just get blown out. The feathers just.
Rams, Arizona.
Rams, Arizona. I have it at the Rams -6.
I'll go different, guys.
What is your record right now? What are you, 1 or 2 behind?
2 behind.
2 behind Wander. Oh, so you should pick 3 different games.
Let's see.
Let's keep it going here.
All right. What's the spread on Minnesota?
Is low, I think.
I got the Vikings -3.
You got the same thing, Wander?
Oh, sorry. We have. That's the early game, right?
Yeah.
3. Yep.
Okay,
3.
I'll go with Minnesota.
All right.
I'm gonna take Seattle.
Woo!
I know somebody took.
Wander took the Bengals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting 2 points.
All right, we're going head to head. I like it.
Yep.
And
I wonder if he's gonna pick the New Orleans Saints to go against me. I have them. I think they said 1.5. Wander said 1.5. Saints are giving. In case you're wondering.
Okay, we'll do that.
There you go. And now you're Cowboys.
I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean -2. That's not bad. Basically, a pick 'em.
Justin Herbert's fingers all jacked up.
He's got 2 weeks to recover. He's good. Justin Herbert's good.
We'll see.
He's gonna throw the ball like Brock Purdy did.
We'll see.
I was thinking about him. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. It like sucks. Like, you know, he's been there for, you know, a while now, and just not a lot of you know, players around him really.
Well, I mean, he's definitely got talent on offense. The defense is always something to be
Yeah.
more desired than it is, but offense, he's always had plenty of weapons. I mean, he's got Eckler, he's got Williams, he's got Allen. Right?
Well, Williams is out for the season, but
Yeah.
that's why he always has offensive help. And you're right, the defense is a little lackluster, but they have the other Bosa brother. I forget what is it.
Yeah, but
Weezy Johnson.
He's all
Bosa?
alone. He's all alone.
No, they traded for Khalil Mack, remember, from the Bears.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, they had a decent defense. I just don't know. Like, to me, you know what the Chargers' problem is? The coaching staff. Because they have two cornerstone guys. They have
that seems to be the consensus.
Yeah.
The coaching staff there is not good.
They have two pass rushers that should be eating up the quarterback, right? And they're just not doing it. And then listen, you could be weak at safety or corner or whatever. You're still going to win games with that offense, right? Because other teams have done it. The Eagles have done it. Cowboys have done it. The 49ers have done it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not strong in every single position. Two pass rushers should be enough. You know what I mean? Especially those two. They're great.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is a Bosa. Like, those guys are like bred, like,
Yeah.
to eat quarterbacks for lunch, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Well, that's it. I don't want to talk about football until next week. Do we have any TV shows or movies?
Yeah, I just been watching season 3 of Warrior. I think you guys both watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that, and Gen V. Watched the first 4 of that. The first episode was incredible. Yeah, so definitely
I didn't know there
enjoying
was 4 episodes.
that. Yeah.
I only watched the first one when you
Oh,
told
look
me.
at that! What
so
a
I
treat!
watched the first one. Gen V is dope. You ever watch The Boys on Prime?
No.
You gotta watch that. It's a little different. The spin on The Boys is they're like the Justice League, but like they're like somewhat evil, but not evil. Like they're like still superheroes, but they're not as like nice as you think they are. Like they do dumb shit and whatever or weird stuff, you know. So the spin-off is this show he's talking about, Gen V, which is like would you say like a superhero academy almost?
Yeah.
So like you have all these different superheroes and they learn their powers and they're like training and stuff. So I didn't know there was 4 episodes. So I got some work to do for next week.
There you go.
I only saw the first episode, so I'll try and watch the other 3. When does it come out? Every week?
Maybe Friday.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but
I'll figure it out.
I remember that's how when The Boys first came out. I think
Yeah.
it was on Friday.
It's good to know. I'm gonna check it out this week. What else you got? Anything else?
I think that's it as far as television and film.
Okay. Ernie, you got anything?
Just to give kudos to Wander for the Top Boy choice, because that's I've been watching that, and that's been very, very good. I've been going through that.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Is that a reference on drugs or?
Yes, very, very highly recommended.
All right. I'm almost done with season 2 of The Bear. I think by in a couple of days I'll be done with that season. You were right. It's not as good as the first season, but I feel like there's definitely going to be a season 3, right? I didn't even get to the end yet, but I just assume that the way they built season 2 is to bring along everyone's character to set the table for season 3, and then that could be the end. But it's still a very good show. They're short. They're like 35, 40 minutes. So you could breeze right through them. Yeah. I normally do when I'm on my workout.
Just a lot more of the family aspect, right? In the season.
Did you know how many cameos there are in that show? Like I just finished the episode. I don't know if it's like 6 or 7 where they did Christmas with the 7 fishes. Yeah. And you see Jamie Lee Curtis in there, the guy from...
Jamie Lee Curtis has been in both seasons.
I don't remember seeing her in the first season.
Yeah, she's the mom.
Yeah, but I didn't see the mom in the first season.
Yeah, she was in it. Not
Really?
a lot, but she was in it.
It must have been something I missed then. But
I'm pretty certain, yes.
the brother also is more is the
Yeah.
Punisher. He was
Right.
in this season.
Yes.
Because you only saw, you might have seen him in season 1. It's so hard to tell because I'm watching
Just some
so fast.
flashbacks.
Yeah, flashback or two, and then you have the one of the comedians, Mulcahy or Mulaney.
John Mulaney.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in there.
Uh-huh.
The girl from all those American Horror Stories, I forget her name. It was Susan something or other. I don't know.
And same thing with Top Boy. I know when we were talking about it, you know, we were asking who was in it. But one of the guys from Ted Lasso is in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And then also
I forgot about that.
he didn't last very long in the series, but the eldest brother from the Peaky Blinders was in it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
That's right.
So yeah, a lot of cameos in the show. And yeah, it's still good. It's still entertaining. It makes you look forward to. Don't ruin it for me or ruin it for me, whatever you want to do. But I just want to know if at the end of season 2 is their restaurant up and running. Because I'd hate to watch all season 2 and their restaurant is not up and running.
Again, the focus really is not on the restaurant. It's but yeah, it's.
But I disagree because like the whole season is them building the new Bear restaurant or whatever. It's gonna be like an elegant place. But
How far into second season are you?
like at least episode 6, if not 7.
And it's not up and running.
It's not up and running yet. Like they're running into all types of problems. Like that's what it is. Like
Oh no, it will be. It will
okay, all right. Because I just want to see that what the restaurant looks like by the end of the season.
be. Yeah,
too.
it is.
I don't care if
it's
it like
cool.
opens up. I don't even don't care if like at the end of the season like they show you the front and then the inside.
Oh no. You'll
okay, so it's coming up soon. All right,
Yeah.
so by next week I'll know the gist of it. So yeah, that's what I'm watching. Loki just came out this week. I watched season 1. It was pretty cool. It's going to be very interesting to see where they're going to go with this, especially if there's only 6 episodes. I'm really not sure where they're going to go. So
that's it. There's only
last season was only like 6, and they did stuff so quickly. But this season, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I don't know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, I hate the fact that these seasons of these shows nowadays are so short.
Yeah. Disney likes to do that. They put like 6 or 8. It's very rare like 10.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
No, I mean not everybody, but like I get what you're saying. It's like they're trying to stick to like 8 episodes now. They should just keep it at 10. And if you have to like shorten an episode here or there to like 40 or whatever, just do it because I'd rather just see 10 episodes and get a little bit extra than get less and like not know what's really going on. You know, I don't know, but yeah. So that's that. I don't know what else. I don't think I got anything else right now. Got a whole list of stuff I gotta watch, but we'll see what happens with that. Wanda, you got any music?
Yeah, we got a couple picks as usual. First up, we're gonna go with the Mussolini with Memoir of a Player. Second up, we've got Cool Keith with Mr. Controller. And third up, we're gonna give another podcast selection like we did last time. We're gonna go with the Humanity Archive with Jermaine Fowler. Again, it's like a history type of podcast, but it's pretty short. So yeah, those are your selections for this week.
And if you made it this far, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. It was a rough week for some of us, whether it be fantasy or just regular football, but we enjoy it anyway because we're suckers. And hopefully baseball will be back in our lives soon enough, and the Yankees and Mets won't suck. So I guess that's it. Anyone else got anything to say?
That's it. Till next time.
All right, that's all she wrote, folks.
See you in the next cartoon.
We'll see you next week.